preparing to go. And, Eamon, this is a guy that looked to be moving back into the Rickie Fowler world that we'd seen back in 2017, 2018, finishing a tie for third at the CJ Cup late last year. Since then, no top 40s, 3 missed cuts. Still seems to be searching a bit in the golf game.
Yeah, he made his first cut of the year last week at the Genesis Invitational. He ended up tied for 55th, but he'd missed 3 straight in a row to start the year. And, you know, he does have happy memories here. He's finished second, he's won, he's got a couple of top 10 finishes. But when you look at, and he is showing improvement, it has to be said, in one area. If you look at his Rickie strokes gained approach, he's 74th on tour this year versus 157th last year. It's still at the business end of the hole where Rickie seems to be showing a complete lack of confidence right now. If you even go back just 3 years, Rickie was top 15 in strokes gained putting. Right now, he's 205th. Last year, he was 126th. So that still seems to be a particular issue for Rickie. I know he's been doing a lot of work on the full swing and trying to get comfortable with that, but it does seem to have bled throughout his game that there are issues.
So wild to think that. You said it, I'll say it again, 205th this season in strokes gained putting. This is a category he led on the PGA Tour in 2017. And Damon Hack and I have sat up here talking a lot about the Rickie Fowler stroke and how he was the guy for years and years that you would pick to roll a 10-footer. It was between him and MB Park as the professional golfers. You wanted to hit the 10-footer. They seemed like they always had speed, and they seemed like they were always confidently struck, and they would drop right in the middle. To see Rickie Fowler struggle so much on the greens, and you said it, working on the full swing is one thing, but on the greens to see Rickie with this lack of confidence is a bit surprising, and it puts so much pressure on everything else.
You used the key word there, Shane. You said confidently, and I think once the confidence goes, then the putter is seldom far behind, because if you're putting a lot for pars, it's very hard to feel a great deal of confidence and carry it through to the next hole. So it does become this kind of vicious cycle that you're stuck in.
Well, you know, there have been more cameras out following the professional golfers in 2022. Of course, the news of the Netflix show everybody excited about. Rickie was actually asked about this, and if there'd be maybe a feud with another of the players involved.
Rickie, you seem really well liked out here, but Drive to Survive, there's always a feud going on. So if you had to have one fake feud with another player out here, who would you pick?
I'm going to pick Harry Higgs. He came over for dinner last night. Well, I invited him, but I think it'd just be fun.
So some beef with Harry Higgs? Now, you can't, I mean, one of the rules is you can't tell people it's a fake beef. You've actually got to make them believe that it's true, that you're feuding.
It starts as a real beef and turns into a fake one, like DeChambeau and Koepka last year, where it becomes a made-for-TV event.
I was wondering if you were going to go there. I was wondering if you'd take us there.
How long does it have to last before you get your own made-for-TV special, though?
I mean, we got October, November potentially opening up in the next couple of years in terms of scheduling.
And frankly, neither one of them has actually played well since the beef ended, so perhaps that's a little extra
get it back going.
Fuel that they need.
I would say Rickie's got to be on a high on the list of players that don't feud with anybody. I mean, you know, you talk about how liked a guy is amongst his peers. I mean, Rickie Fowler is one of those positive spirits that everybody likes and everybody talks to and everybody likes to hang out with. And, you know, I mean, you've heard criticisms of Rickie Fowler, but it's mostly for things that nobody else in the world would turn down. I mean, these are sponsor opportunities and commercial appearances. What pro golfer's saying no to that?
Yeah, and the one thing you can say about Rickie Fowler is he's been under a tremendous amount of scrutiny since he turned professional. You know, he was the next great hope. He was going to be the needle mover. The number of kids you'd see dressed like Rickie when you went to any course was always quite striking. And perhaps he hasn't won as much as he ought to have won, given the talent he has. And there's also the criticism about the commercial opportunities, and now the struggles over the last couple of years with the full swing. But show me one moment ever when Rickie Fowler snapped at somebody, or Rickie Fowler threw a club,
right,
or Rickie Fowler lost his temper, or acted in somewhat less than a professional manner. It doesn't happen. It's never happened. And keeping that kind of even keel when you're struggling under this kind of scrutiny is not an easy thing.
You're on camera all the time. You're on video all the time. You're on PGA Tour Live all the time. I mean, Rickie Fowler has been on the forefront when it's good and when it's bad. And there are few players. You think about what Tiger Woods went through his entire life. Tiger Woods went through the bad on camera. And a lot of players don't get shown when things aren't going their way. When they're shooting 74, typically you're not going to see it on camera. Rickie Fowler is one of those players that gets shown when he's 2 or 3 over par, and that's not the easiest thing to deal with at times.
It really isn't. It can become very corrosive to the confidence when you can't really leave it at the golf course because you're reminded of it. You turn on ESPN, you turn off Golf Central, there you are. And your day is accounted for, and it becomes very easy to measure yourself by the number you had to write in the last box on the scorecard that day. And you hear a lot of golfers talk about how they try to move away from that kind of self-judgment, where they associate themselves and their self-worth a little bit too closely with their workday. And that's particularly easy to do when you're struggling in the manner that Rickie Fowler is, because you get a lot of people telling you that you are successful, you're wealthy, you have all of this going for you, but do you deserve it because you're not winning?
Rickie Fowler goes off in about 30 minutes. We have golf happening at the Honda, including